Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. All right, the heat wave is going to begin, so you guys in the Great Plains are getting it already, and it's supposed to hit here today, and the East Coast has already gone through these storms, and now they're going to get the heat wave, and yada-da-da-da-da, right? Summer brings in all the other stuff that we get to deal with. So I got a question for you. If your car wasn't running, if it wouldn't start, who would you call? You got questions, right? You'd call your accountant, right? Sure, because, your accountant knows how to fix a car. No, you'd call a mechanic, If you had drainage problems in your house, you'd call a doctor, right? Because, doctors know all sorts of stuff about plumbing, right? No, you'd call a plumber. So it stands to reason that if you wanted to get the best information about computer hacking, that you'd talk to a hacker, wouldn't it? Doesn't that make sense? An attack on our grid, a cyber attack. Who would be the most qualified person to talk about with you? A politician? Nah, a hacker. Yesterday, I ran across something that was from Thursday. I think it was an interview. Matt Gaetz, remember him? The Florida congressman who was appointed, then pulled his nomination for Attorney General, who, in my opinion, probably would have done a better job than Pam Bondi, okay? Because I haven't seen a whole lot out of Pam Bondi yet, and we're 6 months in. But Matt Gaetz is working for One America News, okay? And Matt Gaetz interviewed a former CIA hacker by the name of Dr. Eric Cole. I want you to watch a 1-minute clip here real quick.
Do you believe right now Iran is in the planning or execution stages of cyber attacks against the United States?
Absolutely. I wish this wasn't the truth, but I believe within the next 30 days, you're going to see a massive cyber attack. All of the indications are there. Everyone's ganging up on Iran. You're seeing a lot of tension building, and they cannot compete on the military front. On the physical front, with airplanes, weapons, there's no way they can compete with the United States and Israel. But on cyber, they are very, very advanced. Remember, Stuxnet attacked their nuclear reactors. Yes, they were a victim, but when you're a victim of a cyber attack, you also get access to all the code. So they actually have all the code that was used to break into their nuclear reactor. They now took that and they can use that against us to break into our nuclear reactors.
Are you ready for that? Okay. His premise is completely correct. Iran is totally outgunned. All right. They're not going to compete with Israel for fighter jets, missiles, anything of the sort, okay? Manpower, sure, if it was a ground war, yeah, there's more Iranians than there are Israelis, okay. But if the United States gets involved, forget it. And again, remember, Trump is supposed to make some decision in the next 14 days on whether or not we do anything, okay? And that threat looms over the Ayatollah right now. My thought on that is the reason Trump said 14 days is because that's going to take about 2 weeks for us to get any troops, equipment, whatever you want to call it, in place to do whatever we want to do. Okay. We know like the Nimitz is going. Sure. It's not like somebody snaps their fingers and naval vessels just show up somewhere. It takes time for them to get there. 2 weeks would be a pretty good estimate, okay? And now all of a sudden, when everything's there now, you can go, we got everything here we need to do. What do we do? Yes or no? And Iran knows this too, okay? no offense to anybody out there, but, the Iranian military is not full of jello brains. Don't necessarily agree with their politics, but okay, they still have the ability to go, this doesn't look good for us. So what is their objective? Dr. Cole makes a very good point. If they've had their nuclear reactors hacked, now they have the Cole code to go after other ones. Sure, there's probably different security protocols in the United States than there are in Iran. That wouldn't surprise me. But we all know the vulnerability of our grid. So maybe they go after the nuclear plants, maybe they go after the coal plants, maybe they go after the natural gas plants, maybe they go after the solar farms, whatever. Pick one. This goes back into everything that I've said over and over and over again about the idiots who say we need to go to complete clean energy and solar. No, that's one of many. Solar's good, but you don't put all your eggs in one basket. But so let's say Dr. Cole is right. And here, he's putting his neck out on the line here, because in 30 days, people are going to say, you said within 30 days, right? So, come the end of July, we're going to know if he's right or wrong, and he will have to answer for what his call is. Now, of course, all bets are off if Iran and Israel suddenly sign some peace treaty. Okay. But if they don't, are you prepared for the power to go out? This is 1 second after in 2025. Because, as I've said before, taking out the U.S. power grid ain't simple, but it's not difficult. I've mentioned to you numerous times, literally, if you take out 9 substations, which could be done by 18 guys, the grid is gone, okay? There is no power. How long does it take to rebuild it? Oh, considering the backlog for parts from China is a year, okay? 6% of the United States has any sort of preparations. Any, okay? You can bet that 2/3 of the country doesn't have enough food in their house to last them for 2 weeks. I say that because there's a lot of people who get paid every 2 weeks, so they go to the grocery store every 2 weeks and get food. So they've got whatever's in their house. If they went grocery shopping today, being Saturday, they'll go out and buy 2 weeks worth of food, and then 2 weeks from now they'll have nothing. Okay. So what happens when the power outage lasts 15 days? Oh, all those people who had 2 weeks worth of food, well, they've long since been screwed, because anything they had in the refrigerator or the freezer is gone. Okay. This is where everybody starts freaking out. We can bet that if the power goes out in the U.S. for any period longer than 2 days, we would have chaos in the country. And you can look at examples in history. We had Texas a few years ago with the winter storm, and people died and everything was chaos. You go back, it's about 30 years now, when New York had the power go out, I think it was like 11 days or something like that. Crime was rampant. People were dying. I mean, the heat was unbearable. There was no power, no nothing. Trash all over the place. Yeah. This is what you can expect. And so the catch is this. First off, are you ready in any sort of capacity for backup? Do you have your backup set up? Your gas generator, your diesel generator, your solar generator, your Generac system, whatever it may be. And I mean, let's just say this is power's out for 2 weeks, all right? because at that point you better have alternate fuel plants for your Generac or your gas generator, because I'm betting you've probably burned through all the gas, the propane, the diesel you have, unless you've got storage tanks in the backyard. Okay. Especially if you're going to continue to use power like you do now. We are very, very, very lackadaisical when it comes to electricity. We just assume when you hit the light switch, the light's going to come on. We don't give it a second thought about where it comes from. It's just there until it isn't. Okay, so let's say, for example, you have yourself squared away. You've got backup power, backups to your backups, alternate ways to do things, etc., etc., etc. How about your neighbor, who all of a sudden sees a light come on in the house? You'll forget something, I guarantee you. You'll forget that you have motion sensor lights outside that automatically come on when somebody walks by, and in the middle of the night, a raccoon walks through your yard and it sets off the light, and everybody's going to notice. How the hell does he have electricity? You're running a gas generator. People are going to hear that. And suddenly your house is going to be, can I charge my phone? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? Okay. I mean, how many people have you had happen? How many of you have had it happen to you already, where people have said, "Can I borrow one of your generators?" No, I have what I have for me, okay, to take care of what I need to take care of. No, I'm sorry, the fact that you don't have light in your house is not a priority over me keeping my food cold, okay? I'm sorry, you've had years and years and years and years to prepare for this. It's not like prepping is some big secret. It's been in the news like crazy for the last 4 or 5 years, ever since COVID, okay? It's not like people could ignore this, but they do. Again, I'll use my example. Think about 12 hours before a hurricane hits in Florida, how packed Home Depot is, because everybody's got to go buy plywood then, because they never thought about it before, because hurricanes never hit Florida, right? Just saying. Plan accordingly. Have you got your stuff set up? I talked yesterday about another great sale on backup power. I've mentioned, I can't even venture to guess, 75, 100 different videos I've probably made over the last 5 years on different power supplies, power sources, sales, stuff like that. Maybe you took advantage of them. Maybe you didn't. Okay. But if you ignored it and went, it's not important, and then Dr. Cole says, within the next 30 days, this happens, don't come crying to somebody else going, oh my God, I need help. My neighbors better not. I mean, I've talked to all of them. They all have backups of some sort. Whether it's gas, whether it's diesel, whether it's solar, whether it's Generac, whatever. At least around me, everybody's got backup power. I'm not going to worry about it. But it's a question I pose to you. What's lurking out your front door when the lights go out? You may be ready for the power outage, but are you ready for the onslaught of people that are going to come over and say, gimme? Because after all, that sure seems to be the American way. What can you give me? Pinball out.